let's get into some data points, right? Previously, right, we were doing a live. Okay. And one of the students had asked, they asked and they said, what is controlment, right? We're gonna get into it. So a lot of people don't understand what controlment is. And what I started to realize is that you cannot identify controlment, right? If you are an NPC, if you are a CPU, a robot, you can't identify what it is. The reason why that is because all robots have to follow the script and the program that they have been programmed to. So if you program a mind, right, and you've been programming it, right, to control it since birth, right, then that individual will never identify that it is controlling because they was born within the world of controlment. Thank you. It starts in the very beginning. The things that you are taught is not to build you up. The things that you're being taught is to control you, okay? It's just as much as, I'm gonna show you so you can understand. One point in time, there's an individual that just got in trouble for doing this. They knew what they were doing, right? But they wanted to see if I was gonna accept it, you understand? I'm gonna keep saying this repeatedly over and over, okay? There are high vibrational minds that are on this planet, crown jewels, okay? And these minds are so powerful, right? They can build worlds in front of you. They can build the world and destroy the whole world in front of you, okay? Now, what you have to understand when it comes towards these worlds that we live in, right? Certain worlds, right, can be backed by AI, okay? And when you have an AI world, it has to be empowered by a natural energy source. Understand that, okay? And so how the AI world look at it as everyone that has a soul, right? They look at it as we can utilize them by using the energy through them, okay? Now, let me ask you a question. Let's say you're a free soul, right? In the world that you're in, right? They have something where they allow you to be in, but they just want to utilize your energy. What you have to understand that they're not going to say in front of you. The people that's upstairs, that's not who they're afraid of either. They're not just afraid of them. There's something on the ground. There's something that had just happened, okay? And this happened recently where no one wants to talk about this, okay? There has been minds, right, that have been liberated spiritually. And if you know it's been liberated spiritually, then you know in the physical realm it's going to be liberated there. What happens is in this world that we are living in, some people say it seems like it's a video game. Some people say it's a simulation. And I agree with both of you. It's the same thing, okay? What happens in this game is that certain characters that are here, right, these individuals, I'm going to say again, you don't have to believe me, but you have no choice but to believe me after I land my fact, okay? You have minds that are here. These minds are so powerful, they can create a world and destroy the whole world, okay? The system felt like this. If we can control them and utilize them, it would be like this forever. That's not true. Because on the simple fact, if you go back into reality, they were once free. So if they obtain their cells is going to set the technology of their mind free from this world. When people say, it seems though, I'm going to show you something, because they're trying to hide something. This whole thing when it comes to CERN, depart vision. What do you see in front of you when you spell out the word CERN? It doesn't say, words are spells, aren't they? Can you decode the spell in front of you so you can know? Okay. When you spell out the word CERN, I'm going somewhere with this. Listen. When you spell out the word CERN, what does it spell? CERN. Why did they specifically spell it like that? Understand that words and spells can be codes if you can decode. Understand? So anyone can see that the CERN machine says CRN. Word it in your mind. Get out the letters. C, and then you have R, and then you have end. No one noticed that? I'm just throwing that to you so you can see that, okay? Now, let's get off of that. Now, this is what I feel like right now. This whole CERN thing that's going on, right, it's a little bit bigger than what it is, okay? What I would say to you is this. Is it that CERN shut itself down? Or a sector of CERN got shut down? Or is it that consciousness is shutting it down? If I break free, right, consciously, spiritually, from your stimulation, right, of controlling me, remember, we are here consciously. This is like a digital world, a server, right? And let's just say you have characters in the server, in the game, consciously, where you're controlling them, right? They break out of control. What do you think happens towards the server? What you think start happening to this digital world consciously? What you think gonna happen? You think, stop. You think they're gonna get back on their knees and praise the old world? We all know that's a lie. The Christ in the Bible obtained a key of heaven and obtained the key of hell. This is where we at. We may not want to look at it as such, but this is where we're at. They're not going to, let me tell you, they're not going to tell you to your face, yes, what he's saying is actually accurate and true. Because now it'll open up a whole portal of consciousness where you're like, so you're telling me we all be in control? Yes. And let me show you something, that way you can understand something. A student of mine asked me online, he said, what is controlment? I never heard of that. I said, okay. I said, can I ask you a question? If you were born with controlment, can you identify what it is today? Pay attention. You know how you brainwash someone? You had to brainwash them into controlment in order to control the technology of the mind and bend it to your will of what you want. Okay? Now, let's get into this a little bit more further. Controlment, right, comes down to many different things, so you can understand. Controlment can be simply as someone trying to teach you how to be controlled. Let me show you. There was a white man, right? And with a lot of white men, they have this type of characteristic in them where they view you, right? And they feel like they can teach you, right? And what white people have to understand is that you can't teach us. That's what you can't do. You can't do that. What you can do is this. You know how you know about things in the world like stocks, you know, other things, right? You can teach that, but you can't teach me who I am. Thank you. Okay? You can't do that. We caught someone trying to teach someone else what they are. Okay? I came to a place called CEO. Basically, CEO is a place where they help you get employment. When you come to a place, right, and they specifically tell you like, oh, we're here to help you get employment, and you start seeing them go outside of the script of what they're supposed to be doing, come here, let me show you something. When you're in a place of employment, right, they help you get employment. That's what they do. When you walk inside of a place and you have someone tell you, you know, we're going to help you get employment, this is that and the third, and they go into, you know, because you are a black man. I'm looking at Mitch like, what did you just say to me? Stop. You're supposed to be helping me get employment. Why are you trying to teach me I'm a black man? Furthermore, let's play the game for what it is. Why are you teaching me I'm a black man? Why you don't have the mindset that you already think I think that I'm a black man? The system is telling itself. Why are you teaching me how to be a black man if you think that I'm a black man? Why are you trying to teach me this right now? Oh, because you broke out of the system, and so we're trying to teach you how to get back in the system? Thank you. If I would pay attention to energy, if you're already in the system, the individual that's on the outside of you is not going to try to teach you how to be in the system. Thank you. When you're outside of the system, others around you will try to teach you how to go back into the system because they understand you have unplugged from the system. You're unplugged. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to plug you back in. And that lets you know that, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. You got to be bigger than him. Yeah, because he's partnered up with the system, right, in order to lower you back in the system. How is he bigger than you if he wants you to be in his system? It sounds like Mitch needs your energy. It sounds like Mitch is actually begging you, please just be a black man. Please just obey. No, that's not what I am. I'm not man either, okay? You're a white man. That's what you are. That's what we created you to be. You created your DNA and everything. You can't teach us. Y'all one of the last strains that was ever created. And y'all were created out of punishment. Y'all wasn't created out of a great creation. You all used to look just like us. You all used to be within the Tower of what? Babel. And that's where your creation starts at. Everybody else want to skip it and say you were designed in a laboratory and all this other shit. And he want to understand the Tower of Babel and the creation that was created out of there. Thank you. Okay? 7 different languages, 7 different continents. Okay? And 7 different creations came out of that. One thing that is very identical to all you creations that came out was that you all had pale skin. Thank you. Okay? So with that being said, or whatever the case may be, creation did happen in the Tower of Babel. They know where they come from. I know where they come from. Okay? You all have an owner and a designer. And it's not the designer of which I tried to create upon the earth, the magic tricks. You tried to take the image of the Christ and re-engineer it, isn't that right? Isn't that right? You all got caught for what you were doing. Christ broke out of your hell consciously, and they tried to put him back in hell. You telling me nothing is going to happen to you people for doing that? One thing about human beings is that they don't understand that just because you were born into controlment, it doesn't mean that you can't escape the world of controlment. Let me show you. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. You have employees? Yeah. How many hours you control them a day? About 8 hours. Can I ask you a question? Is your controlment actually real? Yes, it's real. No, it is not. Make your workers work without the currency of money. The currency shows you that without the currency, your controlment doesn't work. Thank you. So it's something to break out of. It's not something that's infinite and is of life. What you do is you use the power of so-called money. That's not really power because it can be burnt. It's just manipulation. Then after that, you backdoor the mind and you tell the mind, like, I'm paying you to work. In all reality, you're paying them to be controlled. That's what you're paying them for. Understand that the people at the bottom, they don't understand what controlment is. They're still stuck in the 3rd dimension consciously. They haven't obtained receiving order from self and going in a play for self. Understand that I can understand that their minds have been swapped out. You don't pay attention to your mind. Do you speak to your mind and obey the orders of your own mind? You don't do that. That's not what you do. Okay? That means that you would be crazy for doing that. Right. 3rd dimensional beings are crazy. Okay? Because the reason why I say they are crazy is because of this. So there's something wrong with you taking your own pyramid, your mind, putting an order of what you want to request in your life, and then doing the action behind it and it generated. There's something wrong with that, isn't it? That's a mental illness patient, isn't it? That's someone that need to be doped up on pills. So someone that's smart enough to communicate with their mind and say, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. How can I execute this? Self give you the knowledge. Right. Then you go do it. So people are crazy in the world if they obey themselves. But you're not crazy if you obey everyone else, right? I'm just looking at your mind. That's what your mind does. Your mind obeys the orders of everyone else. This is why you're stressed. Because everyone else is using your mind, right? And you're not understanding, you're the one that's supposed to use your mind. But you were born into this world like this. So that's the word that you accept. A lot of people, they feel like they are lost, right? And what it is they're not really lost. They just don't understand the new world of self and obeying the orders of self. A lot of people are going to run from themselves because they're like, I'm so used to someone telling me what to do. And that's the world that is of control, man. You see, you accepting control, man. I'm so used to someone telling me what to do. You used to be in control. You're not used to someone telling you what to do. Pay attention to the technology of mind. The technology of your ear, what does it do? What does it Stop commenting right now because you're getting yourself upset. Calm down, okay? Self-teaching, okay? What does the technology of your ear do? Answer that question. Answer a self question because I'm going to show you what's wrong, okay? The problem is that majority of people are ignoring themselves, and I'm going to show you what you're doing. This is why you're upset. This is why you're going through all this, because yourself that's within you is upset with the past character you are. You know how you walking around, you're frustrated and shit? It's not just about the world that's on the outside. It's the world that's in the inside first. Yourself is upset with you, and you don't know how to deal with it because you never accepted yourself, okay? You accepted everyone else around you, and you always hated your inner self. That's the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm going to tell you to your face. Now yourself is trying to bypass this old system that you want so much. And yourself is trying to show you a new self system. And you're afraid of yourself. You're afraid to listen to your voice and cherish it and follow the order of it. But you want to cherish and love everyone else's voice and use the technology of your mind towards their will. And you think life is supposed to be like that. The self that's within you that is fighting, keep on fighting. You people are disrespectful amongst yourselves, and I'm going to show you. When it comes to the technology of your ear, did you answer my question yet, sir? Did you answer my question yet, sir? What does the technology of your ear do, sir? You're down there fighting. They're trying to fight for your eyeballs, bro. When we get the reply, the eyeballs will actually start viewing, thank you. You see how manipulation don't work yet? Get the answering. What does the technology of your ear do? Now, if you understand, I'm going to show you something. If you understand in the comment section of what I'm showing you with the third dimensional beings, none of them have self-information installed inside the technology of the mind. When I ask a self-question, right, the technology of the mind cannot go within itself and reach for information and data based on what the technology of ear does. So, do you see what's around you? Do you want this around you? They're exposing to you what they are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you want this to live? You have individuals around you where they can't even understand what does the technology of your ear do? Do you see the comment section? That is the ignorancy amongst self. What he just asked was a self question. Understand what he just exposed. If they were connected towards their self, then their selves would answer through them. Do you understand that the AI self is over the self right now? Those are AI replies. Those are not real replies. Those are not replies of self. That's just AI replies. What's happening is he is speaking about self. And based on the replies, he's actually right. People do hate themselves. Look at the replies. He's asking a self question. They're totally ignoring themselves, right? And they keep loading up their AI self. Isn't that self-hate? Why you won't allow the self-teacher to teach you? He's actually exposing the shit in front of us. Watch. Pay attention to the mind. That we can understand self-hate exists. Hate doesn't exist. Okay? Watch. Watch this. What does the technology of your ear do? Do you see the comment sections and do you see that the message comes from the mind first? Right. The body just obey. Secondly, do you understand that they cannot go within the technology of their minds and speak about information and data of their internal selves? Do you see where we are at? Can I ask you a question? Does this creation need to still live? So we're supposed to stop. As conscious beings, we're supposed to be around beings that hate the information and data of internal self. We're supposed to be around this? No. Anyways, I just wanted to expose to you what you're living around. You're living around NPCs and bots. NPCs and bots, robots, cannot speak about inner intelligence. There has been no inner intelligence installed. Setups. You understand? You understand what's going on in front of you, right? No, it's okay. I'm just showing you that we have a lot of unconscious beings around us. Okay? I'm just showing you there's no information and data of inner self when it comes towards robots as a whole. Okay? Okay. Now, let's get into something a little bit more. Okay? You see all the comments don't come down to nothing of self. No substance, no self-education, none of that. Okay? Now, let me show you what happens. What happens in this world is that when you go through, let's say, the first program, what's the first program? The first program would be school, right? Let me show you what happens, okay? So you can understand something. You have a world that can teach you, and then you have a world where you can be taught with yourself. Let me show you what happens. Children, this message is only for you. Adults, this message is not for you. Adults, pay attention to how they move. Adults, y'all know what y'all signed up to do. To sell out the next generation, okay? You cannot change what you have done. You cannot be forgiven for what you have done, okay? Now, to the kids, that's the next generation. I have a specific message for you, okay? My message to you is that I know that you want to go to school. I know. Because around school, you have been taught that if you receive a high school diploma, you are something upon this world. I understand that. And you may cherish that. But what I want to ask you as a child, before you came to this world, when you was inside your mother's womb, is that a dream that you created? Or is that a dream that's on the outside of you that's being projected to you? Now you think about that. Adults can never pick up on that. Use their adult selves against themselves. When it comes towards adults, as a child, I want you to watch. That way you don't make the same mistake as them. I actually love adults and their mistakes that they make against themselves. Let me show you. And adults will go into the argument with someone else, not actually realizing that the adult self is actually arguing with itself. Let me show you. An adult self would say, I'm more important and I'm more smarter than my child self. Granted. The ignorancy of what they just exposed in front of you is this. The child that became before the adults, that's more powerful than the adults, had a mind in order to create for itself, in order to create a dream for itself, in order for it to own that dream of itself. The dream that the child had was it wanted to own things. The dream of the adult self is that it wanted to be owned by the system. I use your child self against your adult self. Fight it, because you can't fight me. What do you own? Nothing. Who do they own? You. What the child want to own? Itself. By owning and obtaining everything within his own dream system. Setups. Fight. You can't fight against me. I can use many variations of yourself and throw it in front of you and make sure that you sit there and fight the child self for yourself. Fight him. Fight her. That's what you gave up on right there. Don't show yourself no sympathy. Get very upset. Don't play with me. I'm not the one to play with. I will use your lower self against your higher self. I will use your higher self against your lower self. The child that's within you is way more better. Why? Because on the simple fact, it actually wants to fight the system, right? In order to own the self system within it. Thank you. Children is way more powerful than fucking adults as a whole. At least they have a brand new mind. And they actually want to fight for themselves. Adult programs just get beat up by the fucking Matrix. Sit the fuck down, little boy and girl. And I'm not talking about the children when I say that. You adult programs. How many dreams as an adult program you gave up on as your childhood self? Setups. Don't play with me. You got more children on this earth obtaining EIN numbers, right, than actually adults. Adults is looking at their kids like, no, I want you to go to school. I want you to go to college. And the child is like, mom and dad, like, listen, I don't have to do that in order to own something. Setups. Let me throw it in your face. You ever went to Wendy's? The child is smart. You ever went to Wendy's? He doesn't have a high school diploma and he owns something. Setups. You don't have to have a high school diploma to own something, mother and father. That's what they told y'all in school. No. You can create something up here. Okay? And if it aligns with self, everybody else is going to align with it. What it is, mom and dad, is this. Y'all have a bad practice of giving up on your inner selves. You have a bad practice of that. So just by watching the both of you, I'm not going to repeat what you guys do. You guys can argue with me. You guys can hate me for who I am. But always understand the things of what y'all doing towards the child is a reflection of what you did to the child in the inside. Setups. Yourself. What you think you're doing? You're trying to control your child, right? It's because you were allowed to be controlled when you were a child. Setups. You understand? It's just a reflection of each other, baby. I'm just trying to figure out what my parents is about. Are they actually connected to themselves or are they disconnected from themselves? And it looks like to me what he just said is that you all are disconnected from yourselves. If you all are disconnected from yourselves, then you all are going to disagree of what I'm doing with myself. Setups. Children, today, you are not doing nothing wrong. You're only doing what yourself created you to do. And the people on the outside of you are not your creators. I know they're going to tell you, yes, we are. No, they're not. Because they're not following themselves that created them. Thank you. Okay? So I'm just showing you that adults actually hate the inner child within them. And this is why they treat you the way they treat you. Do you understand, child? All right. What I would say for you as a kid, right? Dig deep within yourself and follow the path of self. Because when you follow the path against yourself, look at mommy and daddy stressed out because they're not connected to themselves. You understand? Okay? It's okay for you to disobey the system that's implanted within your mom and father. Or dad. That's not a father. Can I ask you a question, mother and dad? Can I ask you a question? Watch. What did you save for the future so it can obtain something for itself? Pay attention to the data points. How much money did you save for the future? Damn! Oh no, we didn't want to save no money for the future. We just wanted you as the new future to accept the past of what we became. That's why we don't save money for you. If that ain't the coldest truth I ever heard. Slow down. Mommy and daddy is more smarter than their children. Setups. Based on age. Okay? Now, we are more smarter than you because we're an adults. You are a child. You're not more smarter than us. Come here, child. Come here real quick. Come here. Come here. Come here. Don't listen to him. Come here. Your mother and your dad is dumb. I'm gonna show you how dumb they are. You ever heard of Gerber Life? You ever heard of a life insurance policy? No. So your mother and father doesn't have a life insurance policy on you to secure your life? Come here. If you care about your children, right, why you don't have no insurance on their bodies? Oh, hold on, stop. You give a fuck about them when their conscience is going into the system, right? But you don't give a fuck about them to give them life insurance policies? And hold on, stop. And you're telling me you're my real mother and father? You can't be. You can't be. How can you be if you did not ensure the future of your child? Come here. Now, can I ask you a question? Come here. What happened? They had got income tax. They got income tax. Yeah, they got income tax and stuff. All the money gone, though. Excuse me. All the what? Yeah, all the income tax money gone, or whatever the case may be. Our parents, they keep spending our future every time. Hold on, slow down. What you mean they keep spending your future? Like, I'm gonna show you, like, in the tax game, if you were dependent, you get a certain amount. So let's say, like, let's just, like, estimate. Let's say, like, $2,500, right? Without me as the child, the adult don't get the $2,500. So basically, that money's off of me. What the adult do is they selfish. They be like, well, I'm the one that's working. And it's like, well, I'm the one that's the dependent. You wouldn't have got that money if you can't use my social security card number. You're using all my information and data, and you're using my money in order to fund, you know, your nails, you going out with your homeboys and getting drunk and falling on the floor, or you getting a gold chain. Like, I hate y'all. Yeah, I hate y'all because y'all keep stealing my future away from me. Every year. Y'all don't give a fuck about me. Y'all don't put none of that income tax money towards me because y'all the same reflection of yourself that say fuck yourselves, and that's why you say fuck us. And they want us to listen to them and stuff. Why would I listen to you? You don't listen to yourself to help me. This is why your children say they hate you. You raised them to hate you. You think someone's supposed to love you if you never done nothing for them? That love is conditioned. That love is out of control. The minute I stop doing what you want me to do, as parents, you say to your children, fuck them. Get out my house. You can't listen to my rules. Rules is only invented to rule the technology of their mind. The system is completely downloaded in these parents, and they cannot see what they're doing to their children. I have a new dimension for you. One day, right? Being that parents accepted their AI self, there's a certain scripture and chapter within the Bible that has been handed down to all of you. Do you know what that is? It's a certain scripture in the Bible where they say that daughters will versus mothers and sons will versus fathers. Do you know why that happened? These are the days that we are walking into. These are not the days that have passed. We're walking into these days. These days are loading up. This will come to pass. The reason why we live in this dream together is to find out the decisions that we made. Why? We already made the decision. We're already watching our decisions. Our minds are just understanding why. We made the decision. Now, what happens inside of this Bible that you love so much, it tells you what's going to happen to all of you. There will be a certain time, right? Because it doesn't go into great speaking of it, but children upon this earth have supernatural abilities. You know that. You know that. It's not something that you don't know. It's something you do know. Okay? And so what will happen is that children will gain enough consciousness based on the experiences of what they're going through in this world. A lot of us, right, are really fighting to obtain ourselves. And we notice that the humanoid programs are just trying to suck their minds into the program to fight against us as much as possible. Because you all are afraid of something. Now, what happens is your children, they come online. The truthful conscious of them connects with the left mind, bypass everything that you decalcified because they're selected to. Their eyes will glow. You'll be sitting near your bed. You will look at them. As your AI self, you will be frightened. You're not yourself. If you were yourself and you seen your children's eye glowing, you wouldn't look at them like they're no type of way. I know if I see my son's eyes glowing, come over here and give me a hug, baby. How you do that? Show me the tech. Thank you. As AI, you haven't given up your AI mind. You haven't obtained your self mind. So there's a difference. Now, your children will speak to you and they would tell you that the parents that you say you are and the names that you go by, these names are tied to a false identity system of this false identity world. You're not our real parents. You're parents from a certain corporation. That corporation, right, is designed in order to control you, in order for y'all to inform what your children do. Systematic beings, isn't it? They get mad when I break their system down. Now, can I ask you a question? Being that you sold your children out and you sold their consciousness out, you knew what they were. You think your children, right? Because they're not your children. You didn't accept yourself in order to know their self. So those are not your children. You think they're going to sit here and just walk out of the house? They're going to wipe the floor with you. That's what they're going to do. It gets a little bit more deeper so you can understand what you have done. Okay? Remember the COVID-19 thing? Say that a little bit. Don't say that word. Okay. Remember the C-19? Oh, you ain't heard of this part of the message, right? Oh, you gonna get this work today. You heard of that before, right? You gonna get this work. Anyways, right here, right? Now, can I ask you a question? Did you actually infiltrate the technology of your body and your children's body by ejecting information and data that does not identify with the body? Did you try to upload another digital character within their vessel? No. No, I didn't do that. This guy's crazy. Setups. What you have to understand is that I am not crazy, okay? I'm from a higher dimension of consciousness. That's what you gotta understand, okay? I understand how the technology of the body and the hardware and the software, how it moves with the body. Do you understand? Okay. When it comes towards the hardware of your vessel, the hardware of your vessel has veins, right? That transfer information and data through your vessel. That's what it does, okay? Can I ask you a question? The shots that you receive, right? The shot that you receive, does the information and data identify with the information and data of your body? The reason why I say that is because remember the word aligned, alignment. Whatever that is on the outside of you should align what's within inside of you in order for you to be in alignment. Setups. I'm not done. I'm just getting started. Run that back one more time, bro. The things that you put on the outside of you or that are on the outside of you, if it does not identify as the same information and data that is within you, something simple, a vitamin code system or a mineral code system, or any natural system that's within you, and it doesn't identify as the same information within, then the information and data is only to unalign you. So, parents, right here, come here, come. What were you doing to your children? Watch. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop. What were you doing to your children? Stop saying Whenever they keep saying they nervous. That means they know what they did. What did you do to your children? Well, the TV, pay attention to the AI program so you can understand something. The TV had told us that we need to take these shots in order to be healthy. Pay attention real quick. You said that your parents are real, right? Can I ask you a question? Would a robot accept another order from a robot? Yes, because they're both robots. Data points. Watch. Your parents are real, aren't they? Yes. I'm going to get back into the needle thing in just a minute. I have to land upon here in order to get back to the needle thing, okay? Okay. Your parents are real, aren't they? Yes, they are real. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyways, can I ask you a question right here? You ever seen the movie called iRobot? Yes? Yes. Remember, pay attention so you can understand something about human beings, okay? Watch. When it comes towards the movie iRobot, you have a famous actor in there named Will Smith, right? When Will Smith goes towards I want to say this was his mother, he knocks on the door. When he knocks on the door, wherever the case may be, the lady opens up the door. She opens up the door, and when she opens the door, he walks through the door. He sits at the table with her, right? Now, when he sits at the table with her, I'm not talking about the part where he was eating the pie and showing his leather Converse sneakers that I actually want. Thank you. I'm being honest with you. I need both of them. I need both of them. That's just a side note. I need both of them. Anyways, right. Let me get into this. When he come back to the house the second time, right, she hit the lottery. When she hit the lottery, she obtained a what? A robot. An iRobot. Understand that the iRobot does something that's very identical to what human beings do. Do you know what that is? Let me show you. The robot was watching TV, right? Will Smith said to his mother, he said, "Ma, why you got that robot in here?" And then he said, "What is it doing watching TV?" She was like, "Oh, baby, it's not watching TV. It's getting its daily programming." Slow that shit down real quick. That shit went too fast. What? The robot is doing what a human being do. Watch TV. But the TV that it's watching is just like the humans, but it's getting its daily programming. Slow. Let's get down to these human beings right here. Can I ask you a question right here? What y'all doing when y'all watching something? We just watching and seeing setups. Understand that the technology of the eye doesn't watch or see. Thank you. The technology of the eye comes with a functionality setting. Do you know what functionality is? You're in reality, then you should understand what functionality is. Okay? Now, the technology of your eye has a functionality setting. That functionality setting comes down to the eye is analyzing, recording the data of what you are viewing. Functionality setting. 4 words, right, that align with the eye, and they all align and make one mechanic machine in order to transfer the information and data towards the technology of your own mind. What you just so-called looked at is what you can remember. Explain to me, how are you able to do that? Understand that the AI programs that are on the outside of you cannot explain what they are doing. So, can I ask you a question? If you cannot explain what you're doing with the television, how the fuck do you know what's going on? Setups. So, no, stop. Y'all real, ain't y'all? No, we real. How you real if you don't understand that all the things that you watch come down to programming? You don't know about the functionality setting of your eye or mind or body. So how you know what you're doing? Because I'm watching and I'm looking. The watch and look does not explain the functionality of your eye. It doesn't explain how it functions. Okay? You stuck in third dimensional. And when you stuck in third dimensional, guess what happens? AI programming. I look, I see. Look and see doesn't explain the what? The functionality of your eye. Come here. I know what you're gonna do. Yes, it does, because actually it actually does break down. Because if you take the word, listen to the AI program. If you take the word of what I'm saying, which is look and see, it's in a dictionary. And the dictionary actually explains what that word means. Come here real quick so you can understand something right here. Watch this. When it comes towards language, right? Understand that someone can create words, put them inside of an indoctrinary that you call a dictionary in order to indoctrinate your fucking mind. A third dimensional robot is talking about some, how do I get to know how this works? Oh, just use your words and meaning. While other high vibrationals minds like, just show me how it functions and I know how to work it. Show you how to what? Show me how it functions and I'll know how to work it. Because functionality and reality operate as the same thing. They're within each other. Everything is functionable, but do you know how the way it functions? No, I just know AI setting. Let's get back into these kids real quick. Try to help these children. Children, if you have been obtaining a new mind with yourself, right? And everybody around you is telling you, you're not who you used to be back in the day. I heard the same thing too. You ain't doing nothing wrong. They're gonna say that you're bad, you're evil. That's not what you are. Yourself set you a mission to be here. And everybody wants you to override your mind with a false character in order to keep this false life up. Okay? Your children, your parents are only there to sell you out. They know that. Don't feel bad, parents. Ignore those fucking emotions. That's the truth. How did we get here? We had to be selling our babies out. Come on, parents, tell the truth now. Parents, come on now. You know what we do to our children. We are hopeless fucking beings. We have no fucking souls. And we sell our children out every day. You can understand that it's truthful. Look at everybody get in a car and drive off. So come here, child. If they're driving off, right? They're not driving off from me. I can give a fuck about that. They're driving off from themselves. And can I ask you a question, child? If someone drives from themselves, you don't have to follow them. You don't have to follow them. This is all a game. These are not even your real parents. Everyone know consciously the parents that was given to us is not our real parents. You want me to believe, don't you? Dad, come here. Pay attention to the technology of the minds. Anytime you say that, pay attention to the comments at the bottom. The people are afraid. Do you always, let me show you something about the truth and the lie. The one that holds the lie, lies hold on to fear, bro. Did you know that? You didn't know that, did you? Stop. You didn't know that lies and fear go with each other? Come on now, you smarter than that. Lies and fear are with each other. They operate with each other. I'm lying to you because I fear that you're going to know the truth. Thank you. Your parents fear the truth of what children are getting to know within this world. And what I would say to you, children, is that you're not crazy, baby. You're not. Getting to know the truth, you're going to let go of your past self in order to obtain your new self. What I would say to you as a child, please do not let your past self conflict anything with your future self. Come here. If you ever made a decision and you was like, yo, bro, that was the first time I ever done that. Don't question your decisions. You don't have to do that. What you do is you go to yourself and you seek clarity of why you made that decision. Thank you. Because clarity is going to keep the mind clear from what? Distractions, overthinking, overprocessing. It's very simple, child. When you make a new decision that you like, bro, that was different. I never done that before. It's okay. Now seek clarity within your inner self of why you made that decision. Do not allow the minds on the outside of you to infiltrate your mind, because only yourself can give you that self-discovery. Understand they're not connected with themselves in order to be connected to yourself. They're connected towards a machine world. Isn't that right? Mothers and fathers? Isn't that right? No, this guy's on drugs. What drugs is he on, mother and dad? You all didn't even go to college to get a doctor's degree to actually proper diagnose people. Why is it that when someone talk outside the third dimension, y'all show fear and he's literally pulling it out of y'all? Why do y'all do that to yourselves? I know. They gave up on themselves a long time ago. And so when you give up on yourself, of course you'll give up on your children's selves. Of course you would send them towards a school. And the school is only but a system to infiltrate the technology of the minds. There's a difference between systematic teaching and self-teaching. When you build a system, you have to build a mind that's going to obey the system. But the minds that obey the systems are only systematic beings. This is a system where you need systematic minds, setups. So, in this law of broadcasting, what happens was parents got exposed. And based on their replies, right, is to show you, we don't want you knowing this. We are afraid of what you know. We are afraid of what you all are getting to know. Isn't that right, parents? It spoke about this in the Bible. I'm just letting you know, right? Just like the Bible taught you. The Bible told you if you sell your children out, this will happen, okay? Okay? We not your children, though. Okay? I sound crazy, don't I? I know. The Bible told you too, though. So, is the Bible crazy for telling you what's going to happen if you do this with your children? Or is it that we're being loaded up and we know what's going on? Oh, they're very afraid. Oh, no, stop. Come here. What you're saying is this. Of course, you pay attention to the setup. Watch. Watch this. You see the comment down there? Of course, you would say that it's fake, right? Because you don't want that part to happen in the Bible. Don't get me wrong. There are certain stories that are rewritten in the Bible. But there are certain stories where if you look real well, you'll understand this is what's to come to pass. Okay? Pay attention to the comments that are at the bottom. They're afraid of what you're getting to know. They're not, come here. They're not coming with intelligence with bro to debunk what he's saying. They're bringing up ignorancy. Do you know what ignorancy is? It's to trick the technology of your mind to be within ignorancy within them. You understand? Parents know what they did. Parents, didn't you sell your children out? They're gonna say, no, we not. We didn't sell our children out. Yes, you did. In 1860, I think that's 1865. Don't quote me on that, but that's when one of the first schools were built. Understand that in the 1800s, as natives, we were going to war with people. And what you don't understand as a native, right, is that I am a Seminole. I understand that when we were going to war, schools were built to re-engineer the technology of the minds and to change the timelines of the minds. Isn't that right? You know too fucking much. I know. This is education, right? How is it education if the education was indoctrinated in a time of war? After the schools went up, then you built prisons in order to, what? Put natives that fight, that are warriors inside the prisons. Those people wasn't bad. This is the timeline that we reside in. The timeline that you are in is nothing more than a timeline that was forecast in order to manipulate the technology of the mind. That's it. Okay? So, when you do some digging, you do some researching, you start to understand this system was literally built off murder, rape, invasions, and war. That's what you're standing up for, okay? That's what your original country does. Those acts are not forgiven, though. No. If they were forgiven, right, then the sun wouldn't be doing what it's doing. I want to also say another thing is this. When it comes towards a certain nation, right, you all want to see if I identify as your nation. I would simply tell you, you all that are traitors towards the Christ that is within you, stop talking to me. You know what demographic I'm talking about, right? All right, stop talking to me. That's how you hit the whole nation. They looking confused with their AI selves, like, who is he talking about? You want me to say it to your face? Pay attention to the setup so you can understand what the fuck is going on. See that? That way you can understand what they did too. It's not just the other people that's around them. Okay? All right. Got it? You got it, right? All right. You might want to look at those people real well. Can I ask you a question? Are y'all a traitor to yourself in order to be a traitor towards the Christ? Okay. We're not even going, we know what y'all did with yourselves. Y'all annihilated yourselves a long time ago. Y'all stay right there on the ground, okay? Right. What's the image of the Christ people today? Notice that the AI programs get silent when he said that. Notice that, right? Everything freeze when he said that, right? Right. What's the image of the Christ, y'all? Pay attention. He doing something. He just knocked their whole conscious and they conscious on pause mode. What's the image of the Christ? Notice that they were uploading and uploading and uploading. Do you see how he just knocked them out their programming and they in pause mode? What's the image of the Christ, y'all? Now you see how he just knocked them back into the AI programming? Do you see? Let me show you something. That way you can understand that you live in an antichrist world. What he just, watch this, what he's doing. He's very psychological, bro. Watch. He just basically penetrated the technology of their minds, right? Knocked them into pause mode, right? What the AI was doing in that moment was it went inside the memory bank of its own mind, right? And it was trying to locate the image of the Christ, right? Notice that there's no image of the Christ because the technology of the mind is not speaking about it. Setups. Did you see what he just did? You didn't see that, did you? I know. That just played in front of us. That's brazy. Did you just see what he just did? He just froze them, bro. Who the fuck can do that on this planet? What's happening in front of us is that the AIs, they don't know what's going on. The AIs haven't been computerized to know the image of the Christ. That's what's going on. See? Someone's in their mind. And he's just asking what's in the mind. And there's no image of the Christ in the mind. Walk them down right here, blood. Can I ask you a question? Based on the intelligence that I just gained out of your mind, none of you minds can actually report what the image of the Christ is, right? But they want Christ to save their minds. But none of them could reach in their own minds and actually explain the image of the Christ. Why is that? How is he able to reach in their mind, right? And know there's no image of the Christ within there? How is he able to do that? How is he able to know and then tell you, you want the Christ to save your mind? Like, yes, but you have no image of the Christ within your mind. You all are doomed. Have a nice day. Moving along, beautiful children. Pay attention to the future of yourselves, because when you take Christ and the image of Christ out the technology of the minds, then that means that humanoid programs must have believed that they can ban the truthful image of the Christ. Christ is very intelligent because he set all their minds up. And look how he just walked through their mind, asked them a simple question, and they all erased themselves because their self know who Christ is. Thank you. Easy work. Y'all go back in there to the third dimension and get to arguing with yourselves. I got some dead chicken. If you need it, come here. Program these motherfuckers to be dead, bitch. Come here. You hate Christ, don't you? I know. Come here. Give me your mind. Let me show you right here. Everybody's stuck in the third dimension and probably won't break out. The third dimension consists of fear, death, famine, and everything else. Lies. In order to keep the technology of the minds completely down, what you do is you make a creation that is called a chicken, an underdeveloped creation, in order to keep the technology of the minds underdeveloped. Let me show you the ignorancy that I have all the human beings in. Watch. The technology of a bird has a mind, brain, right? Can I ask you a question? Would you eat something that's underdeveloped? Underdeveloped. You would simply say no. You have to be a lie to yourself because the chicken cannot fly. Setups. How are you eating chicken wings if the chicken never gained ability to fly, but it has wings? Ignore. Say he on crack and shit, even though we all doing this in front of us. Why are they pausing again? Do you see how he paused their mind? Why every time when he says something that's out the third dimension, why is they fucking pausing, bro? Then when he says something, they go to upload. It looked like he in a shit. Come here right here. Let me show you what your mind do. Can I ask you a question? When it comes towards your mind right here, right? Do your mind holds the information and data of life, or does your mind hold the information and data of death? Show you how dead we made them. When it comes towards life and death, what you have to understand is that the technology of your body is the hardware. The things that you put in is the software. Can I ask you a question? Why do you eat things, right, that go with in a decay state? The technology of that bird is dead, which means it will rot. Okay? Why would you eat information and data that's going into a decay state? Why would you do that? You're not a zombie, aren't you? No. So why are you eating things that are dead? And he's on drugs. It looks like America is on drugs. Thank you. Moving along. When consciousness speaks, the lower consciousness, why are they pausing again? Okay? All right. Now, what's happening above us is that these consciousnesses have been basically installed with information and data of death. They have routed themselves into information and death. You know what's funny? The people that are commenting probably are 9 times out of 10 are overweight. Can I ask you a question? Can you go outside and enjoy the sun like me? No, you cannot. It ain't got nothing to do with your skin complexion. I had somebody with skin complexion on the fucking ground because they're not aligned with the sun. You understand? Let's see how many people can go outside today freely with the technology of their vessels without falling down. Get out of the shade. Get the fuck out the shade. If you are a real character here in this digital world, why are you hiding from the sun? Notice that? Everyone wants to sit in a dark area, a shaded area. Is that what you're aligned with? I go out in the sun and everything luxurious. Stop putting color waves in your mind because it has nothing to do with color. If the technology of your body that's in color, that you believe is in color, does not align with the information data of Earth and align with the information data of the sun, you perish. I'm just giving you your update. That's it. You got it? We are being separated. The reason why we're being separated is because, pay attention to the comment section and how they expose themselves. Everybody around this earth is not a soul. Some people are robots. Some people are artificial tech. The comment section will expose it. Give it up. Give it up. Come on, people. Give it up. Don't fucking pause. Okay? All right. Now, right there. You see that right there? You see, hold on. You see the real one say setups 100. Facts. Because they understand setups, baby. Work this shit, bro. When it comes to the technology of your body, right? Bodies hold information and data and energy. You understand that? Okay. Now, your body, let's say your body holds soul. Understand that your energy is pure. You ever came around people that's so demonic that your light outshine them and they start an argument with you? They're not starting an argument with you. They're telling you, please get away from me. Your light outshine me. Your energy is taking control of me. Why you think they're trying to ban you from everywhere? Let me tell you something about somebody. It was this boy. They call him a white boy. I don't pay attention to him too much, but the white boy loves to pay attention to me a whole lot. I don't know why he does that. You need to be sucking his mama titty. Stop trying to suck my nuts. That's for your sister, little boy. You understand that? All right, moving along. Now, for some odd reason, this white man got upset about something I was saying openly that I was having joy about, right? I'm speaking to myself. I said, yeah, over 1,000 people in France dropped dead due to the sun. The white boy got upset, right? Went to the other white boy and said, he's threatening us. I didn't realize that white people, this sector of white people that are in blue states, are very fucking ignorant. Don't tell me that's not fucking ignorancy. So stop. You're gonna kick the sun out of the library, right? But the sun is still burning your tech. You can't ignore the message if the message is being applied on your fucking skin, sir. And you told me that these are the world's greatest, most smartest, and educated motherfuckers. But you can literally say, watch this. You kicked me out, right? Can you go to France and kick those people out for saying the truth? You got French people that's like, it is hot as fuck. We are burning. So, white man in America, just showing you how ignorant you are with yourself. Go to France and tell them to shut the fuck up, because the people in France is letting me know what the fuck is going on. The liberal white man, that's who I'm talking to. The blue white man from the blue states of Americas, talking to you, sir. Most ignorantest motherfucker ever met. I done met some white men that's not ignorant like this. They understand like, nah, he's right. We can't do nothing about that shit. He's right. And we can't get mad at him for telling us what's happening in front of us. What the fuck is wrong with you? You'll have other white men looking at this other dumbass white man like, yeah, you're fucking dumb. Yeah, how you gonna get mad at him if it's happening when you come outside? Instead of getting mad at him, fight what's in the sky. Can you fight that? Like, no, I can't. Then shut the fuck up. It's just ignorancy in people. I just use that as a life experience. I didn't use him because of his color. I didn't use that. I'm showing you the ignorancy. Now, watch. You think I'm using color. Watch this. I had a black girl, right? I was working at a hotel. This happened about maybe a month ago, right? Just before July. This happened in June, okay? And what happened was, when I was working there, I was working as a housekeeper, you know, cleaning up the rooms, whatever the case may be. But always understand, when you're being bought somewhere or being brung somewhere, right? What happens is you're getting to know more of the story. That's what's happening, okay? So what happens with this black girl, I was really shocked, was that she went outside for a little bit. She was sitting in the sun, right? And what happened was, being that she wasn't aligned with herself in order to be aligned with the sun, right? Baby girl wasn't even, listen to me, baby girl wasn't even overweight, bro. Baby girl wasn't even overweight. Baby girl got hit by the light. She came back in and she fell right down. I'm running up. I'm like, yo, you okay? What's going on, sis? She like, give me a second, bro. I'm like, yo, you need some water? What's up? She like, no. She like, look, I just went outside and it's like the sun just hit me and I gotta sit down for a second. I'm like, you sure? She like, yeah, I'm gonna just hold on to these walls right here. They very cool. I'm like, nah, sis, you can't depend on them ice walls too much. You gotta get your ass up. You gotta get your ass hydrated, sis. This is a warning, sis, okay? Don't look at me like I'm crazy. You ain't supposed to be on the ground like that. And you thinking this shit got something to do with color. No. When your energy get knocked down, right, that's trying to resonate within you, and a new energy source is trying to come within you, what does the body do? When you knock the energy that's false out your vessel, what does the body do? Fall down right here. So, you people want to make this about the R word, and due to his life experiences, he exposed this has nothing to do with the R word because it hit him, right, and it hit her too. So this comes down to what he's telling us. It comes down to energy. He just wiped the whole system away from us. You thinking it's the R word, don't you? It's not that. Did I use that in front of you? No. I just told you on both sides of the coin that if your energy and the technology of the hardware of your vessel does not align with the information and data of Earth and the information and data of Sun, guess what happens? You fall. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter what color you are. All you have to do is just go with the energy of the sun, because the consciousness of the sun is inherent in the earth. It is his time to shine. You understand? Okay? All right. What y'all got to talk about? That's a blood cat. Fuck over rats. How you doing? You can't see me? It's probably still in that artificial tech thing. Y'all got any comments? Slow. So you can understand this. Watch this. AC is fine. I understand what you say. Something that conditions your ear. Something that conditions your ear is that real air that you're breathing. They have AC centers too. Could you do something for me right quick? What is that? I need you to bring the earth a little bit more closer to the sun to show the humanoid programs the power that the sun has. Understand that their power grids, let me show you where they're at so you can understand. No way you gonna do them like this. I gotta do it. It's right here in the back of me. I'm about to show them. That way they can understand. I live next to your power grid. I did. Let me show you. See that? That's the power grid. You know that, right? Hold on. Let me zoom in a little bit quicker so you can see it. That's the power grid. See the sun? See the sun? See your power grid? It's right over your power grid. Look at the sun. Look at your power grid. It's right over your power grid. So, right? What you're going to watch is that you can hide in AC for a little bit, but the sun is over your power grid. The power grid consists of what? Metal, right? Can I ask you a question? What happens if I apply enough solar power, right, towards your metal? Do it start heating up and burning? Do your power grid start shutting down? Do your power start shutting down? One thing you can't do is this. You can try to make a power source, but the new power source is the sun. Okay? What you will walk into is you will walk in the world with me, and you will see he was right. The power grids is fucked up. The power grids are not built or installated to protect itself from the sun. Thank you. So if it doesn't have a protector from the sun, how is your power grids gonna not shut down? If you want to talk about tribes, sir, come here so you can understand where I'm at with it. Slow them down. You think these tribes didn't conquer one another? It's not what I think, it's what I know, sir. The tribes of New York, right, fought against each other in order to let certain invaders in through the back door of New York. Do you know about that part yet? I don't want to read anything else. Did you know about that part? Come here, sir, come here. The tribes of New York, right? Can you state the tribes of New York? Can you state the two tribes that stood together, right, as brothers and sisters, and they were infiltrated by the other tribes that are in New York? And the reason why certain people that are here that are not supposed to be here? Do you know that part of the story? Do you know about the Seminole War? Let's talk about those tribes. Don't use the word tribe, right, if you can't actually break down the stories of the tribe. We don't care about historical events or none of that shit. Ain't nothing historical. His story is not going to remain in the technology of the minds. Do you understand that? All right. Historical my ass. Now, look at what you just said. Look at what he just said. Someone was like, factual. Now he's on his shit. Slow down. Come here. The one that got the ninja. The one that got the ninja, right there. Look at what you just said right there, right? Now watch. Slow. What is the tribes that are within New York? Name the 2 tribes that stood together and all the other tribes that were traitors towards them. Name them. Watch the technology of the mind speak about a tribe, but did not install the tribes within their mind in order to know about the tribes of New York and know what? The truthful knowledge of what happened to those tribal members. Setups. I'm in your mind. I'm asking your mind, what's up? I'm in your world. What's happening? And you notice that the mind do this. He got me. He got me. The mind did this. Now, the mind is about to go to England. I don't give a fuck about England, boy. Come here, boy. Just let you know that this mind that's right here in so-called America doesn't understand the knowledge of what's here in America. Bro just stated, he said, and this is facts what he's saying, state the 2 tribes that were in New York that stood with each other as brothers and sisters. State the other tribes that went against them and allow other people to invade with them. The technology of the minds rang up as 0. So what are we talking about here? Thank you. The back door to get here, it wasn't the front doors, which is Florida, which is the Seminoles that fucked over the Spaniards. If you go to the back door of New York, there's certain tribes that backdoor 2 tribes. And these 2 tribes was trying to fight, bro. They was trying to fight hand over fist. And you had other tribes like, yeah, fuck these niggas. Sell these niggas, enslave these niggas, bring these other motherfuckers over here, give them land. This was what's going on. Notice that he keep talking about England, right? What he's trying to do is he's trying to confuse the audience. What's happening is that he's going based on history that has been installed from what England and now has been installed in his mind. Why is it that he's on the soil? And why is it that the individual that brung up the tribes, why is there not talking about the tribes, the 2 tribes that stand up in New York? Right. And the other tribal members that turned their backs on them. Why is he not speaking about it? Because we're trying to hide the truth. But he just said a part of the truth, though. Listen to me. If you go back to his previous comment, do you think that the tribes and this, that, and the third had enslaved each other? He had lead it off with a question. It's not a question. He actually knows something. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to backdoor the mind by saying, well, the slaves and I don't give a fuck about none of that. Let me tell you something right here. Watch this blood. Can I ask you a question right here? My African brother, my Jamaican brother, my, what's all these colorful motherfuckers? My African brother, my Jamaican brother, my Haitian brother. Can I ask you a question? Y'all never did nothing against us, right? No. We just immigrants here, bro. What the fuck what you on now? All right. My Jamaican brother, my Haitian brother, my African brother. Y'all just my brother, right? Y'all never did nothing against me. Hell no, bro. We ain't never did nothing against you. What you smoking on, blood? You're certain souls tapped in this motherfucking live right now. Like, please release that shit, bro. Please. Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question. Right here, back door. When you go over here towards, what is this? This is called Africans. Afrikaners, right? It's the one that basically came to African, right? Came to so-called Africa, but Afrikaners, okay? Is the reason why you got the word African, okay? Africa is not Africa's. There was no Africans, okay? Now, what happens is Mr. Africanus come over there to so-called Africa that was never Africa. He colonized the whole thing. You know what he colonized? You thinking he colonizing the land. Fuck all that. You gotta colonize the minds, motherfucker. Now come here. You got these damn Africans that have been converted to Africans, right? You think the Africans your people, right? Watch, backdoor. What happens is this. Say if I'm your oppressor, right? Or your enemy, right? And I take somebody that's just as strong, just like you. The reason why I'm using an African is because I know that my genetic makeup as a white man, I can't fight you head up. I cannot fight you head up. I have to use other images that are like you, and to use these images that have strong genetics just like you in order to fight you. Setups. Now, what happens is this. Come here, boy. Come here! What's your name, boy? I'm Christopher Columbus. She ain't no fucking Christopher Columbus, boy. Now what you did, I had discovered America. Shut the fuck up! You didn't discover shit. You're the first invader towards America. Because you came here, right? We're Africans. You think Africans gonna look at the native like, you my native brother. I not gonna hurt you, brother. I not gonna try to enslave you, brother. You see the picture? As a native, do you have any relationships with Africans in person? No, I do not. The only relationship I have is transactional. Setups. My Haitian brother. How you doing, my Haitian brother? You never came over here to fuck over me and my tribes, right? No. Whenever that white man tell me to do something in this immigration program that we're still in today, right? I wouldn't do nothing against you. It say right here in the U.S. history books that are trying to reconstructure the technology of your mind of how you view your enemy into I'm your brother. I never did nothing to against your people. I never did nothing. Jamaican people. Never did nothing, right? No, we just came over here with our own boats. No, the fuck you didn't. You came over here with some white settlers. That's what you did. And you were taking orders from them. If they tell you to murder and kill, you're going to murder and kill. The reason why they use y'all is because they understand the genetics with y'all. They understand that y'all are more genetically more superior than them. So they use the technology of your minds in order to invade on us. Do you understand the fucking tech? Bitch, I'm a Seminole. Right up the street from the Aztecs. If you spell Texas backwards, you get Aztecs again, motherfucker. Play with me. The Seminole's still in here. Play with it. You know how we fucked over them Spaniards, boy? Had they ass over here running. As the Seminoles, we never lost the war. We stepped down on shit in war. We was different from the tribes in New York, and respect towards the two tribes that stood together as brothers and sisters. No disrespect amongst y'all. But the disrespect that happened to y'all, that shit gotta be avenged. New York cities and shit. They used to be once cats, now they fucking rats. The fucking back door. It's them right here. You're gonna get this work today. Someone said, I believe. Yeah. Pay attention to the word today. How many Africans you know? Personally, 0. How many Jamaicans? 0. How many Haitians? 0. Everything come down to what? transactional setups. Now, pay attention to the technology of the minds. He was talking about tribes that's in America. Everybody's lost because they don't know the knowledge of the tribes that their ancestors came from and the tribe that they're still within. The tribes have been converted into colors now. Pay attention to the setup. How could we all, right, be all one thing, right, if in one point in line we identify as tribes? Not saying there were different. We identify as tribes. At the point at the top, you're going to see tribes, and then when you see tribes, you're going to see every tribe that was created. Okay? Can I ask you a question? Amongst the tribes before these white invaders and these dark invaders came here together on one ship, aligned with each other in order to basically take over this God's world, this God's consciousness. Can I ask you a question? Did they do this fighting them head up, or did they actually use people that were here in order to fight them, in order to gain entrance? It's an inside thing, bro. It's never been a war where they fought us head up and we lost. Never. That's what they want to keep your mind at. But everyone know that if you go up to New York, yes, New York is infiltrators towards themselves. They are the lower form of consciousness. The red states are the higher forms of consciousness. It's a reason why they say blue and red. New Yorkers are invaders towards themselves. That's how they operate. They don't, why do you think New York is so demonic? It's an anti-Christ, an anti-self world. You do know that, right? You do know that, let's pay attention here. You notice that they used to call New York State the Garden? Why do you think they used to call it the Garden? Is it in back in time that native tribes understood that, yeah, this is the Garden? You ever heard of the Garden of Eden? You ever heard of that, right? What happened if New York State was the Garden of Eden? Let me show you how timelines tie in, because what you're doing is, in the technology of your mind, you're creating separation. How do I know that? I'm not in your mind, but how do I know that your mind is creating separation? Understand that timelines are not separate, okay? Let me show you. Let's just say in this time you use a red crayon, right? And now the red crayon is depleted. Now you use a blue crayon. Without the red crayon, you can't get to the blue crayon. So timelines actually run into each other. It doesn't mean that a timeline stopped. Thank you. It still exists. Okay? Now, let's just pay attention here. When it comes to timelines, right? You would simply say that you would look at New York as New York, not actually understanding, if you step past the word and the illusion of New York, you would start to understand that everyone calls this a concrete jungle. If you remove the concrete in all the buildings and you allow the jungle to go back into what it was, you would understand he's right. He is not lying to you. It is a garden. And the garden has been now turned into something that you can say is like industrialized now. Now, what you have to understand is that when it comes to the Garden of Eden, right? I'm exposed to you certain things. Now, in the Garden of Eden, right? I know what you're thinking about already. Get out of your thoughts, okay? And you can understand something a little bit more higher about that story. In the Garden of Eden, they said that there's forbidden knowledge within the garden. So, if you just heard what I just said, our garden comes with knowledge. We have been taught as humanoid programs the only knowledge that we can obtain is what? Through a book, through television, or someone telling us. But it actually explains that there is knowledge within the garden. Now, what is forbidden within the knowledge of the gardens? See? Everybody else is talking about the JC character. They can't even become conscious without talking about JC. This has nothing to do with JC at all. He's talking about two timelines and he's bringing them together as one. The people on the outside of you are trying to emerge the timelines like they're not together. He's emerging literally the Garden of Eden, now transferring to the timeline of New York. And then he actually has another setup where he can tie a president into it. Okay? So this dimension of consciousness, the people are not in. So respectfully, I need everyone to be quiet right now. Thank you. When it comes towards New York, right? New York grounds, right, is an informational source. Okay? Little do you know. The humanoid programs don't know that. What you have to understand is that in the Bible, it speaks about forbidden knowledge within a garden. Can I ask you a question? What is the forbidden knowledge that's within the garden today? Psychedelics. The reason why, pay attention to the replies of what they're going to say. Understand that the people in the replies have never experienced with psychedelics, which means that the technology of the mind has no knowing. The technology of the minds that are on the outside of you have been infiltrated with messages of other people's consciousness. Not a self-experience of knowing, but the infiltration of other people's consciousness and voices. Okay? Backdoor. Now, what happens is you have a president named President Nixon. You think the Garden of Eden, right, and President Nixon have nothing to do with each other. Backdoor to mind. What happens is this. The technology of the book is forecasting stories upon the technology of the eye. The mind has a belief system. I want to make the minds believe that forbidden knowledge in the garden is evil. If I tie that into their minds and bring a president named President Nixon, then guess what happens? You all will vote to ban the information and data source that comes from Mother Nature that you call psychedelics. Backdoor. You didn't see me do that to you, did you? That's how that bill got passed. You know that by the Bible, right? You think you were making your own decisions? Bye-bye, people. These people thought they were making their own decisions. That is actually accurate. And stop. So you're telling me if we did not install the story of the Garden of Eden, of what they're trying to rewrite, right? You're telling me we wouldn't have made it. It's easy to use that book in order to bend the technology of the minds to the will that you want them to be in, right? You didn't see that play, did you? Have a nice day. How the fuck did he just use the Bible? He just used the Bible and President Nixon merged them together, and this makes accurate sense. You're telling me timelines are separated. How the fuck is the timeline separated, right? When President Nixon knows about the fucking Bible. And he understands that the story that's within the Bible, everyone is reading and reading and reading. He knows. So if the mind is already backdoor to this story, that it believes that forbidden knowledge is in the garden, then guess what? If I say, yeah, we want to ban all psychedelics, that is the forbidden knowledge. Thank you. Woo! moving along right here, baby. You see how that worked? That worked right here. Coming back door. Can I ask you a question? Did President Nixon and Mr. 47 that you called Trump, did they have a fight amongst each other? You're going to say no because President Nixon is probably already dead and he was in this timeline. And Trump is in this timeline in 2026. Setups. Can I ask you a question? If you write something, right? And let's say the people obey what you wrote, right? Can I ask you a question? Can I go in the system and rechange what you have done? Yes. Let's pay attention to the data points. When it comes towards President Nixon, he's the one that got the bill signed. That way you can have the Psychedelic Act. Now, when it comes to President Trump does not agree with President Nixon setups. He doesn't agree. Because when he did further research with his own soldiers, right? I know people hate America, and I know U.S. citizens hate their own soldiers. This is true. Let me show you how much they hate you. Now, U.S. soldiers come out, right? Just like people just like you. People that fight the war that's trying to protect this country, right? Right. You know that they came to President Trump and it was like, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. These psychedelics they're giving us, right, is actually helping us. A lot of our soldiers, due to the wars and the things and experiences that they went through, a lot of them want to commit suicide. But being that we have given them psychedelics, right, they actually want to live. They want to be productive. They actually want to help their families. This is what the U.S. people are fighting against. U.S. people are fighting against their soldiers so they can be dead. I feel like U.S. people are fighting against their own army. They're fighting against everything in order for the people on the outside to conquer this land one more time. And before that happens, it's going to be a very bloody war in this bitch. You think because we going to war with everybody else on the outside, we won't go to war on the inside? Understand that this country was built, right, based on a gun too. Okay? So understand that you blue state motherfuckers, y'all fucked over yourselves. You know how y'all fucked over yourselves? How many guns y'all got up in there? How many guns do the red states got up in there? Setups. Remember, war is psychologically, isn't it? Isn't it? Can I ask you a question, blue state people? Why you ain't got no guns? And the red states, they got all the fireworks that they need. How is that perfectly set up like that? Why is it set up like that? Why? Why is it that the red states like, hell no, you can get you a gun? Hell yeah, you're supposed to protect yourself. And the blue states is like, hell no, you don't need no gun. Y'all backdoor the fuck out yourselves. Because if those red states ever get mad and they decide to, we're going in the blue states and fucking this shit up, which happened one time before, it will happen again. Blue states, you don't have enough weaponry to protect yourselves. And just because you have that little army that's up there, you still can get fucked over right here. Okay? There will be a war that happens. You blue state motherfuckers are very afraid because the red states had the numbers. Check out the birth rates between red states and blue states. Let's pay attention to the data points. Let's see how many more soldiers we got more than y'all. Setups. Remember, New York people don't like making babies. I could walk up to any girl right now in New York and she would specifically tell you, I would tell her like, hey baby, you're gonna have a baby in the future. New York woman would simply tell you, I don't want no children. Setups. This is from when they're young all the way up into ages of fucking like 35, 40. You people don't give off birth. So where are you people being created from? Some of you people, in New York, I only seen one pregnant woman. Not New York City. This is Rochester, New York. I only seen one pregnant woman this summer? Only one? That's normal? Pay attention to nature. The bees are impollinating the flowers. Usually what you have to understand is this is what happens in life. Life is not supposed to be turned off where you sit here and make your birth rates go completely down. So-called black people. Your birth rates are down too. You know that, right? Y'all practice a practice of self-hate. That way you don't create babies. Understand that? That's the reason why. It's not because of it's too expensive. What? No, y'all practice a practice of self-hate. Y'all birth rates are down too. Y'all birth rates are down due to choices though. That's why. It's not due to what other people are going through. You people understand something that y'all operate with source and soul, and y'all have disobeyed yourselves. This is the reason why, right? Y'all close the portals to your legs in order for the souls to access this realm. We know what's happening, baby. Portals is not just what you think is in the sky or just the sun. No, portals are between your legs. Isn't that the practice that you all practice today? In order for the souls not to surpass and come through this realm in order to make a change? They're very identical to that one girl that they think that she's such a fucking superhero. What is that one girl name? She's always in the railways, the Underground Railroad. Who is that? Harriet Tubman? You thought she's just like these women today. Catch a whole bunch of slaves that you think that's from the South. The South. Southern. Souls. Bring them back to New York. Snatch their souls out their vessels. That's not what Harriet Tubman was doing, right? She was liberating her people. Why is it that she specifically only went to red states to liberate them, though? Why is that? Because they had souls. Harriet Tubman is not someone that I look at as a super fucking hero. She's someone that backdoored her own fucking people. She's one of the first black women that worked for what? What is the CIA, I want to say? Correct me if I'm wrong. You think the CIA at that point in time was actually looking at it like, we're working with them? No, the fuck you're not. You use one of us in order to locate who's a soul and who's not. Backdoor. Fuck Harriet Tubman. You're like, damn, he cut from that cloth. He must really know shit. What the fuck? I never heard of that before. Now, come here. Let me show you right here. Watch this. That way you can understand how creation is to be fucking dead. Watch this. Them women scared of you. They have to say, I don't want kids. The thing is this, that you got to understand. When you say that, right? When you say that, what do you mean by that? Watch. G-Travel, the AI program we created, right? Right there, give you 1 minute of fame. Speak of why the AIs do not want to allow soul to surpass their wounds. Why is that? See, he'll walk your ass right into it. Hold on. Okay, so nothing, what it is I just infiltrated the technology of his mind. What's happening is this. The image that's in front of him is eyes of flame, hero war, skin of bronze. That's what's in front of him, right? In the lower dimension of the technology is conscious, I imprinted a black man, right? And so what he's thinking is, this is a black man, right? What I did was, with the conscious is, I infiltrated the consciousness with race, right? So I can keep the conscious of where I want to be at. Now, what I do is this. I backdoor it by showing them through electronic devices, not personal experiences, but electronic devices. And I show them this image, right? And what happens is, when they look at the image, the only thing that they have in the technology of their mind is what? What I paint in there. So I use the technology of my own image to paint in your mind to make you believe and think I'm a black man. I'm negative, I'm nothing. That's what I want your mind to be at. The reason why that is because when the Christ step above you, it's already above you, and you tell Christ, can you save me? Christ is going to tell you, I created my image to be a black man in your mind. Your mind accepted it, didn't it? Okay, so if your mind accepted me as a black man, then you didn't accept the Christ of me. You understand that? You don't have to accept none of that. You all are AIs. You all are our experiments that we're going to fucking destroy anyway. You got it? So you don't have to let us inside of the portals. We'll just destroy these old portals and redesign new portals. Setups. You don't have to allow me to be in. I can destroy in order to be in. You understand? Understand that God is a generator, observer, and destroyer. With that being said, you don't want to allow souls to surpass your portals. Destroy all of them. Listen to your sister. Your sister's on the fucking ground. Didn't I tell you about your sister earlier? What did she say? The sun hit me right here and fell down right here. So you don't have to, if you don't want to allow soul in, if you don't want to allow soul in, soul would basically knock your shit down. You understand what I'm talking about? All right. You don't want to allow consciousness to come through your portals. You want to keep these beautiful solar babies out this earth, right? Isn't this something that man has repeated and woman has repeated in another lifetime, where they say God had punished those angels for sleeping with human women and impregnate them? Notice that the human women must know something about angels, because you lock your portals down to angels, don't you? Or higher consciousness. Do I have a baby with a black woman today? Setups. Don't play with me. I know what's bracking. Let's see what's happening in the future today, blood. When you underneath a blue code spell, lockdown, you think that her mind want to have babies with souls? Her mind only want to have babies with AIs. Thank you, sir. Okay? Come here, sir. This is how you know that this person right here, this man, is an AI. Watch this. Can I ask you a question, sir? Happy wife, happy life, right? Yes, sir. No problem, right here, back door. Can I ask you a question, girl? Yeah. Who do he obey? He obeys me. Stop. I like you, girl. Let me get up on your shit real quick. Come here. Right here. Who does he obey? He obeys me. Can I ask you a question? Yes. Did he get down on his knees and give you a solar ring? What you talking about? Stop. The ring that's on your finger is gold, right? The sun above you is gold. It's a reflection. So he gave you a solar ring around you. So where's the soul of him? A lot of people don't understand what they're doing. Now, being that he has submitted to you and you is his master, I want you to destroy him. You want me to destroy him? Yes, because when the sun obtained a solar ring around himself, he did not give the solar ring towards the moon. He told the moon, you had to obtain your own soul by going through information and data of yourself in order to enlighten your consciousness. You notice that the sun don't give the solar ring to a moon. So why the fuck are men doing that? Setups. Come here, baby. Right here. As soon as he gets enough money, divorce his motherfucking ass. Fuck all over him until he understands the fucking game. Give a fuck about this motherfucker. Cheat on him too. You ain't doing nothing wrong. He's cheating on his fucking self, stupid bitch. Why the fuck is you giving your power up to her? You a fucking dummy. Come here, girl. Fuck his friends. No, make it worse, sir. Fuck his brother. There you go. Come here, girl. Now, cause havoc in his life. Argue with him every fucking day. There you go. You want to play this fucking simp game with us, little fucking boy? I have your girl to fuck over your life, boy. Come here, baby. When he wake up, you make sure you give him straight attitude and you disobey everything he fucking say. When he gave the power up from himself, you don't have to obey him. That's the truth, though. If you didn't give the power up to yourself, she wouldn't be doing what she's doing. Told you. Come here, sir. Who do you love? I love my woman. Fuck over him, bae, for not loving himself first. You want to play in the world, right? I'll play with your girl, boy, in order to play with your world, boy. Come here, baby. What you did over here? I divorced that nigga, took over half of his money. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. You want to go to the beach and shit and play around? Like, yeah, pull your panties down. That's what I'm doing with your girl. Fuck you, sir. Fuck wrong with man? I just want to give my power away. Fucking bitch. That's why your woman do you the way you do you. Okay? Women don't do me like that. They understand, like, okay, if I'm not walking with myself, I can't even fuck with you. Setups. It's not about controlment and nothing like that. Alignments. Are you aligned with yourself, baby? That's the only way I can play with you. If you're not aligned with yourself, baby, I am not going to get hits. I already understand the hits. Got it? This is why you Ninja Turtles be getting hits. Got it? All right. Someone said Saturn ring. Saturn ring. I'm done. Right. Let me get to this right here. Someone said, look at this right here. This is why men lose the game every time, because he's too focused on a woman and not himself. Watch. You are overthinking it. Women fell into lust, nothing more. Simple setups. Women cannot really be into lust like that. Why? Women are not procreating like that. Thank you. So when you say lust, usually a baby gonna come out of it. Where's the babies coming out? Dig a little bit more deeper, little boy. Have a nice day. Okay. I don't think people actually understand what's above them. You can pay attention to what's at the bottom, right? But everything that you're saying that's going to receive a chip, the chip has already been installed, sir. You don't see the chip already? This is funny. Can I ask you a question? What is the Bible? It is a book. It is a book, right, that holds information and data. Can I ask you a question? What does a UBS drive do? It holds information and data. So the both of them do the same thing. Can I ask you a question? When you install the USB hard drive, right, to a computer, it plugs into the what? The mind, in order for you to use the information off the hard drive. What you have to understand, the first chip that's implanted in your mind in order to keep you in the time frame of the Bible is the Bible. Okay? You don't look at it like that because you separate everything. I created separation in your mind. Look at what I just did. I said, the Bible is a book. Then after that, I said UBS hard drive. But you understand separation, don't you? That's how your mind moves. So if I merge them together, you cannot see because your eye is only stuck in the third dimension of what? Separation. That's how your mind moves. I keep telling you, I already know how your mind moves already. You got to get to know how your mind moves, okay? All right, so a USB hard drive and a book are two different things, isn't it? But look at what I'm doing to you. I'm giving you separation and I'm lying to you. But the technology of your mind obeys it, though. So it works. That's why I'm using it. You're not stopping me from doing it. So why would I stop doing it? That's how your mind works. The ignorancy literally will surpass, I'm not going to say that. The ignorancy that's in your mind is going to keep you blind of the knowing, okay? All right. No way you just did that. What? I will create an illusion in front of you, but your mind obeys it. I'm just watching what your mind obeys. You don't know that. You don't. Okay? So your mind operates in separation. Okay? So if I use separation to your mind, then you never understand what connection is. Thank you. Okay? But that's how your mind works. I'm just showing you how your mind works. That's on you. I mean, you can reset it into something else if you choose to. But once you show me that a USB hard drive and a book are two different things, based on me calling them two different things, your mind obeys to disconnection. That's what I just did with your own mind. But your mind accepted it, didn't it? Watch. Let me show you another magic trick. It's true, though. Separation, right, is a very powerful weapon. I'm going to show you. What happens is separation is this. What are you eating right now? You would simply say, I'm eating a ham and burger. But notice that, right, you didn't separate the ham from the burger. You put them together. Why did you do that? You don't understand why you did that. Furthermore, let's pay attention to when you bring things together, they're actually a lie. So when you bring things together, the technology of your mind operate in a lie. How is it a hamburger if there's no ham inside that burger? So I can manipulate the technology of your mind with a lie. That's how your mind works. Thank you for letting me know that. Now, your mind also works like this. Second popular pick, right? I'm not in your mind, but I already know what your mind is thinking. Okay, you got me. There's no ham inside the burger, but it is ground beef though. Right. How is it ground beef if the beef never came out of the ground? Okay, separation and lies work with your mind. So keep using separation and lies, and I can get everything I want out their fucking mind. Thank you. That's what you just showed me. It's working for your mind. You can't say I'm the devil, I'm the wrong person. I'm not the wrong person, I'm not the devil. I'm paying attention to how the technology of your mind moves. When you bring things together, they're lies. It's just as much as saying, you are race and you're black and white. Notice that you brung them together with race and black and white, but it's all a lie. Setups. Okay? I'm just showing you how your mind moves real quick, you know what I'm saying? And if that's how your mind moves, right? Then shit, I just want to use that shit, you know what I'm saying? Shit. I ain't gonna get mad at that shit. Hell no, I'm just looking at it like, okay, so I could bend your mind to my will if I use separation and lies. Get you to do what I need you to do. Your mind accepted it. My mind is not accepting it. My mind is using the lies and utilizing it, okay? I just know how your mind moves with the lies. So I'm backdoor it right here, backdoor it right here. All right, get to work for me right here. You can't get mad at somebody for doing that, okay? That's what you might have set yourself to do, okay? All right? All right. All right. Yeah, these people, listen, you notice that when bro is speaking, right, the technology of their minds can't even connect. These people really lost in the third dimension. I'm looking at what I'm doing, right? This is why I say we in two different worlds, even though we next to each other. I'm doing knowledge of self, right? The third dimension is down there talking about the Pope that's already dead. He already dead. Y'all just gonna get to know how he died, okay? Okay? All the stuff in the Vatican. Okay? All right, y'all have fun in there with that stuff, okay? Make sure you give them their books. Tuck them in real quick. Tuck them in. Tuck them in. Put those blankets, warm those blankets up. Get them some warm milk. Make sure they go back to sleep. They are super sleep. They still talking about the Pope and the Vatican. This shit funny as fuck. The Pope still exists? Damn, what time frame they in? The Pope still alive down there for y'all? Oh, let me ask you a question. Did the Queen get hit yet? You know what Queen I'm talking about. Is that the queen? I think she's in what? Not Germany. Britain? Did she get hit yet? Let's see what the mind frames remember. Is they still treating, what's that boy name? Prince Harry fucked up? For the takeover of the nation? Sent her right in that motherfucker. Like, come here, girl, with your pretty ass. Get the fuck over there to Britain. Infiltrate that shit. Infiltrate that shit, yup. Show them who they are. How y'all Britons doing? Notice that one luxurious girl that came in there. Y'all, why y'all can't accept her, right? Why y'all can't accept that? What's wrong with that? It's not family tradition. Shut the fuck up. Give a fuck about your family tradition. Give a fuck about your family values, boy. Britons is getting fucked over by the solar Christ. My Briton brother. Fuck you. Go over there, girl, and play with Harry. Infiltrate the whole shit. Expose what they are. And they got to exposing what y'all are. Okay? You got it? All right. Y'all don't like when we come over there, right? And then change your whole fucking timeline based on the genetic makeup of what we have, right? Ain't that right? Huh? You motherfuckers can't even survive on your own, motherfucker. Fucking birth rates is shot the fuck up. Come here. You don't see the new commercials they got on, right? Where they got the white people kissing each other, trying to make them have love. That is fucking sad. These motherfuckers got to make look at this shit, look at shit. They got to make motherfucking commercials in order to get white people to sleep with each other. You thought life was about money, didn't you? Wrap the money in their minds. Now, you're segregated against life. Thank you. You gave me what I wanted. Stupid motherfucker. I didn't like that comment. Well, we didn't like that you all got together to destroy Christ. Okay? Now that Christ is here, destroying your artificial tech, right? What you got to say about that? You don't like that, do you? Fuck you.